Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Good. Yes, sir. Big Dirk.
Is it weird to be fans of guys that's in the league while you still playing?
Not at all. Not at all.
Huge fan of Maxx.
Number one fan, right?
Cam. We've been doing this patch for summer for some years now. It's just a way for us to give back to the league that has given so much to us. And Maxx, Mr. Vegas, so having a summit here on his home turf, and everybody being receptive of everything, and having the sponsors and having all the guys out. So it's super cool, man. Super cool.
I have a question for all you guys. Every year you see, maybe young pass rushers coming to the league that have a lot of physical talent, but maybe didn't, they had a couple sacks the last year in college. What do you tell those guys when it comes to figuring out how to use their physical ability to finish at the next level?
Well, one of the things that we figured out a couple of years ago is really just tapping into that mindset. Probably 75% of the questions that we ask is mindset, perspective, what guys are thinking, what guys are looking at. And I feel like we pick up so much more from that, because Maxx rushed differently than Cam, and Cam rushed differently than me. So the way we get it done is differently, but the way we come into the game with our mindset, we can all pick each other's brains on that. So whenever I'm talking to the young guys, I tell them everything that you've done up until this point is going to take you to the next level. You just got to fine tune it and evolve. You don't want to come here and just totally change. Stay in your rhythm and who you are. You definitely got to get better though. You definitely got to fine tune it. But it starts, up with that mindset and mentality.
Vaughn, UNLV is coming off 11 wins for the first time in 40 years. What can you say to the UNLV football players here today?
Keep going. It's I think that's where you start with the confidence is in college. Playing against other collegiate athletes that have the same dreams as you, and we're still living our dream. We're still living our dream, and it definitely started in college. So just got to take advantage of those moments.
Bob, what do you make of the growth of pro sports in Las Vegas? Just on Monday, there was groundbreaking of the A's ballpark, and of course now this is the home of the Raiders and the Golden Knights.
It is a great city for entertainment, and you got sports here too. You got the Raiders here, and got the A's coming. All they're missing is a basketball team.
No, they got one. Las Vegas Aces.
Oh, the Aces. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. NBA team. Yeah. And they definitely have all the bases covered. But this is entertainment capital of the world, so you got to have sports here.
On your 1 to now, what did you see from Maxx when you first came out?
I said this last night. I seen it from day one. I saw it from day one watching the film. Didn't have time to really spend time with him and really pick his brain until he came to the Pass Rush Summit. But I feel like what I want to do when I get done playing football is be in the front office and player evaluate players and coaches, and you just saw it. Maxx was the easy one to evaluate. You saw it from the get-go, and for him to develop into the type of player that he is now is definitely super cool. It's like watching your little brother become fucking Superman. You see him go out there and kill guys and get all type of accolades. And like I said, man, I hope it's not weird to be fans of guys while you still playing in the league. And I'm definitely a fan of these two guys right here too. And me and Cam, our careers started together. We're friendly in here, but we definitely want to get most sacks. I think I got 8 more than
Six.
Cam. Six more. 6 more.
We're keeping it reasonable. 127 and a half.
Yep.
I'm 121 and a half. Yeah. So
we don't think about it, but we do.
Yeah. He doesn't think about it. When you're in the league, you don't have to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So, but the greatest thing is when you have guys from your class, or when you have defensive ends that you admire, you look towards as a competition, it's also pushing yourself to be at a higher level as well. So I'm looking out, and there was when we were going a few years ago, you saw guys start to thin out around that 100 sack mark. You see them reach it. Out of our class, there's so many. Him, me, Robert Quinn, Justy Houston. The guys are getting close to the 90s, Ryan Kerrigan, and you're just like, all right, well, shoot, I gotta really put my foot on the pedal. But you see the next wave as well. You see the Trey Hendersons, the T.J. Watts, the Maxx Crosbys, the Bosas. When you look out, you're like, all right, these young guys getting it, but I'm still pushing it at a high level. This is where I push myself towards.
Khalil Mack too.
Yes, I do. Khalil, Aaron Donald, Calais Campbell. I mean, it's so many guys that enter the club, and that's just it. It's like as a running back, you got the 10,000 yard club. As a wide receiver, probably the same 10,000 yards. As pass rushers or as defensive ends, you always look at that mark, right? When you look at 100 sacks, you're like, dang, there's only 40, 50 guys in the history of the NFL that's ever reached it. You get to 125, now it's 20, 25. Every threshold just means something more. And so you're always elevating. And you come to the sack summit where you see these young guys super hungry, when you come in and you're talking mindset, when you're talking different angles of how you attack them slovenly fat guys, which they respect. I'm never gonna be like, man, he's so fat and talented. Nobody says that about him. I'm sorry. I gotta do better one day. But when you look at that, it's like if I'm trying to get to a quarterback, how do I beat this obstacle that's in front of me?
You mentioned the next wave. You are three of the best pass rushers in the last decade. In the Sack Summit, have you seen somebody under the radar that you're like, hey, this guy we got to keep an eye on because he could be the next great one?
I think Fisk, he was here last year. Hadn't even played a down in the NFL yet, and he had a really good rookie season. It's always rewarding, for us to come here and really, pour into guys, and they take that and just make it their own. So selfishly, I love that. I love paying information forward and guys using that. It was a huge help in my career, and I just try to pay it forward. I've been able to play with a lot of talented players from Peyton Manning to DeMarcus Ware, Aaron Donald, and all the information that I picked up from all of these guys to be able to pay it forward, and they use that to make it their own. It's definitely rewarding, and I think that's what keeps us coming back, and that's what keeps this Pass Rush Summit growing and growing and growing, because eventually we're gonna be
phase out.
We're gonna be old and crispy, and it's gonna be it's gonna be Maxes, and then eventually having a Max too, and then you got the other guys that you just keep paying it forward, and that's why I feel so proud about the summit, to be able to have current players, older players, younger players. We even have the super legends. We've had Warren Sapp,
Robert Matthews,
Bruce Smith,
right?
Chris Long is here. All type of guys that come back and pour into it. So it started off with a lot of backlash and negativity. Why you want to give the secrets out, this and that? And now you see so many other positions doing it. You got a tight end U who's doing a great job with the tight end U. They've been doing that for years as well. Got the offensive line, masterminds camp, and that's what it should be. Whenever you can just, push the pride and ego to the side and really work on your craft, I feel like that's where the true growth comes from.
Sorry. Last question.
How has this thing evolved? Your position evolved over the years?
Evolved, yeah. Honestly, it's that's the beautiful thing about pass rush. Like, everybody comes in different shapes and sizes, and you could always learn from somebody. It could be a rookie, it could be a guy who's been in the league 14 years. That's the like Von's talking about it. Like, there's always going to be the next guy and the next wave of people coming. So, the game is just getting better and better. Guys are getting bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic. They develop faster. You see it across all sports. You know what I mean? Everyone jokes about, if you put LeBron James or, Giannis back in the 90s, what would that look like? You know what I mean? It's kind of the same type of deal.
Absolutely.
It's the same type of deal. I see these guys, I watched Aaron Donald and Von Miller and Camp. I was watching these dudes when I was a pup, and I was like, I don't think I can ever play in the NFL. These dudes are so good, but it motivated me to, try to, chase them. And then you got guys chasing you, and it just makes you want to be at your best at all times. So yeah, the game is constantly evolving. Obviously, you see the ball, being passed a little bit more nowadays, but at the end of the day, it's really, the game is won in the trenches, and I live by that, and I believe in that. So yeah, that's this is all about.
You talk about. 1 second.
Sorry.